Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you know it, 'cause it's time for the predictions video. Guys, I think I'm just going to jump straight in. As you can see, that is your brand new Rust store for July 16, 2026. And, well, the first 24 hours of sales have in fact happened. Look at it. Okay. It's a quiet week. Now, that could be quite beneficial, I will say that. But it's also a sign of people aren't exactly super crazy for this week. I'm sure I'd agree. In fact, feel free to comment below right now, out of all the skins today, which one happens to be my favourite? Not necessarily like what you consider to be the best investment, but what you just happen to like the most. Feel free to comment below. Now, of course, if you want to get a good look at all the brand new skins, consider watching the Rust rotation for July 16, 2026. But, yep, just to really get the point across, as I switch over to here, I can confirm that is the first 24 hours of sales, and maybe a little bit more because I was a bit slow to get to it. But even then, it's pretty obvious this is going to be a quiet week. And as I do state, chances are the only skin that's going to sell quite decently is the UAP Bearskin Rug, which could still potentially reach up to about 20,000 subscribers. But then everything else is like, yeah, that looks as if it might struggle to even reach 10,000 subscribers. But again, if we happen to see more collection continuations, you might see these get a burst of demand. You might see these happen to rise up in price in the future. Well, guess what? If there's hardly any of them in circulation, all the better for them to rise up in price in the future. So, all right, we might still have some interesting things to say, but yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be pretty easy this week talking about what I think is personally the best investment of the week. So, I think I'm just going to jump straight in. With the conclusion. What do I personally believe is the best investment for the week? It's the Bearskin Rug. 100%. So you might not be fully well aware, but this is a sequel. I know the Bearskin Rug is a bit daft when you look at it, but then when you look at all the previous skins, you'll think, oh, okay, then yeah. So in the past, we had the sleeping bag. Wow, that's $8.50. Really? Okay. Satchel Charger's doing good. The furnace and the sheet metal door could do better. But I'm kind of under the impression now we'll probably start seeing more of the UAP collection. If I could just clarify, when were these accepted again? I think SCMM will give you the dates if we look up close. Oh, it doesn't even acknowledge that this is part of the collection. On SCMM, you can look at the actual skin creators' acceptances. And do take notice, Little Ranger has his fingers in many pies. Lots of collections, as you might notice. Lots of different interesting collections that are in Rust. And we have to go all the way back to 2023 to see the original UAP skins, all right? So if you're hoping that we're going to get some instant positivity with a lot more UAP skins being accepted, I'm sorry to say you might have to wait a while because, again, you know, Little Ranger, whilst he collaborates with a lot of people, he does have a lot of collections. And, well, I don't want to sound mean, but he's a bit all over the place with his collections. Oh, to be successful. Oh. So you might end up seeing like another Rainbow Pony skin being produced or another Abyss skin being produced. But I'm sure we will eventually see more UAP skins being produced after this Bearskin Rug. Now, let's just say, in the meantime, whilst we wait for that to potentially happen, it's a Bearskin Rug. We hardly ever see Bearskin Rugs getting accepted, let alone being submitted, because there's only so much creative opportunity with it. You have to make a bear-themed skin. They made an alien. Doesn't matter. Still works. But I'm not joking when I say we've got all the reasonably okay ideas already in. So, you know, we've got like the teddy bear, we've got the werewolf, we've even had a Twitch drop, we've had a zombie one, we've had a gingerbread one, we've had a strange art piece, we've had a tiger. There's a great one. Yep, the last one to be accepted was last year's glow-in-the-dark Christmas one. And now we have a brand new, outlandish, strange, alien one that glows in the dark ever so nicely. We have Glorp. Glorp is in Rust. Today is a good day. I'm going to sit here and say that I honestly don't think Face Punch could even sit there and say, let's have the Bearskin Rug be the focused item of the month. Okay, what the skin creator is going to make? Can you think of a Bearskin Rug idea right now that's like a perfectly reasonably okay idea? I'm going to cover it in blood. Okay, but maybe. I mean, Angry Bear. I know I've seen quite a lot of people do polar bears. That's actually been done quite a lot. None of them have been accepted. So, in fact, you know, if we were to go ahead and look at the Christmas one, that's a polar bear. He's just got a Christmas sweater on him, and he's covered in Christmas lights. So, do you know what I'm saying? That's in a very, very interesting spot. Yeah, it might sell quite decently with around 20,000 plus subscribers. I am not expecting another bearskin rug anytime soon. Twitch drop, kick drop, you name it, I'm not expecting it. So that right there, honestly, that is in a very good position, okay? That is why I'm sitting here and saying that's potentially the best investment for the week. I cannot, confirm it's going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot confirm it's going to be absolutely wonderful, but compared to all the other skins here, I have to give it its props. I think that might be in a pretty good spot. So, yeah, that's probably the best thing to look at this week. And again, I don't know what Face Puncher's thinking, you know. They might still try and force that to be the focused item of the month. They could do that. But who knows, you know? So, I hope I got all the right words out. I hope you get the idea. I hope you get the point. Like, I'm always looking at the newer skins being submitted to the workshop. I hardly ever see bearskin rugs being produced. In fact, why don't we go ahead and look at all the most recent ones? So if I go to here, bearskin rug, and we're going to look for like actual good attempts. I don't want to sound mean, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying. So I'm already seeing some strange things. I remember the Easter Bunny. That was weird, but it would still have been a reasonably okay idea. I mean, the Baby Kraken, I remember that. That would have been okay. But as I look at everything else, yeah, the Heart Collector, Valentine's ones, yeah, they're reasonably okay, but they still weren't accepted, you know? They were reasonably okay and no acceptance. So, yeah, I'm not expecting another bearskin rug, at bare minimum, not to be accepted for at least another year. Now, who knows what we might see for Halloween this year and Christmas this year. But, yeah, I'm just not expecting any competition. I think that probably is the best thing to chase after. But just because it potentially might be the best thing this week doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be perfectly fine. You know, how often are you using bearskin rugs? Now, for a solo, just going to stick it on my ceiling, get all that comfort. Cool, no, that's fine, that's fine. I can see a lot of people get them for free because, you know, you just get them like as random loot when you just go through the barrels and whatnot. So, yeah, honestly, I could see it work out quite all right. So that was a bit of a ramble, but compared to everything else, yeah. So it's got the collection going for it, lack of competition, you're pretty sweet, but does that honestly mean nothing else here could actually work out quite all right? Well, again, you can hope for collection continuations, but now let's just talk about the potential problems of all the other skins, all right? Some people might sit there and say, Hedge, why aren't you talking about the Dominus Mortis LR300? It's got a transparent aim sight. Do you honestly think that's the first ever LR300 to have a transparent aim sight? I've got nothing against the collection. I like the fact that the skin creators came back to it and instantly succeeded. I would like to see the armor and clothing getting another attempt. It did look very cool. But I have to point out, how often are you actually using an LR300? Because I can easily look at all the skins and I can easily see, yeah, people don't happen to like them. I don't want to sound mean, but like, look at all the skins. Oh my god. Now, you want a transparent aim sight LR300? Say hello to the Apocalypse Nomad. This came out last year. It's now selling for just $1. It is literally only selling for $1. It does have like the side panels and whatnot, but that quite literally is pretty much the exact same thing, and it's considerably cheaper. I'm sure there's other ones as well that I've actually completely forgot about. I think Azure LR300, if I can recall. I remember this being transparent as well. Let's quickly confirm that. This was a jungle skin. Yeah, it's still got the side panels and whatnot, but the point still remains. We have seen designs come out in the past that had transparency and then it just didn't really work out. I mean, you've got the Heatseeker LR300. Let me point this out. $3. $3.60. Part of a well-established collection that's actually in demand. Dominus Mortis. Oh. For about 60 pennies extra, right? 60 pennies extra. I was about to say 68, sorry about that. You could just go for the thing that's a lot more in demand and more likely to retain its value. This collection is not looking wonderful, I'll say. I mean, again, if we were to get like the clothing and the armor attempt finally getting accepted, yeah, that might work out quite all right. But then you look at Heatseeker and it's like, you know what? Yeah, might just go spend a little bit more just to get something that's more likely to retain its value. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I know a lot of people are going to bring that up, but it's not the only option. In fact, we've had Twitch drops and kick drops in the past. Chances are you probably already have them. Blue gem, if I can recall. Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, I question that. You could still do a good barter and whatnot, but again, LR300s, the vast majority of them are down in price for a reason, you know? So, okay, well, all right. Maybe a lack of sales might give you a good boost, we'll see, but I'm just putting the warnings out there, okay? Now, I can also talk about the potential of interesting collection continuations. So I'm going to bring up like the Babylon Sheep Matador, the Ice Cold Auto Turrets, you know. I could also talk about potentially like a Gothic Veil, even Protector, but there's a problem with those two, and we'll talk about that in a second. But with these two, like when I looked at this, I just instantly got the vibes of Ultramarine, but it's not made by the Ultramarine skin creator. It's made by Falco. Do you see what I'm saying? And then, you know, we'll go quickly take a look at Ultramarine. And I'm sure you know what the Ultramarine collection is looking like. I accidentally put an O there. Ultra. There you go. Yeah, I think people like that collection. What do you reckon? Then we'll go ahead and look at the Sheep Matador, which is just slightly in the positive. And, you know, that's a nice calm blue. And this is like a hot orange. Calm blue, hot orange. Yeah, it's quite similar, isn't it? So if we were to get like a big collection for this, you know what? That actually could work out quite all right. But after all of these acceptances, right, and this was the third to be accepted, it's only slightly in the positive. Oof. So as much as you might sit there and say, but potential and sequel and collection, there's so many Sheep Nadors and Rust that it's very rare to see them actually go up in price. You need to have an anime go on the door. I'm sorry, but those are the rules. Sorry, but look at it. So, yeah, the vast majority are down in price because we have far too many skins. So, there's potential that something interesting might spawn from this, but still might be better off with a buy order. But again, Hedge, it might only have about 10,000 subscribers. Okay. I still kind of stand with my point, though. Sorry to say. But then Ice Cold. Wow. So, 24 hours in, and you have got like hardly any sales. Yep. And I can confirm it is a sequel to the Savage Stacks. Still hoping for that ice pick to be accepted. But I can confirm Skin Creator has been trying to get more skins accepted. So, as we've already pointed out, we've got the ice pick right there. He's also made a small backpack. Lefty, if you're out there, please make more deplorables. In fact, I might send a message. I might go over and just tell him, hey, I know what people want. Give us more deplorables. But what exactly would you like to see? I'm just in the position of, if we see more ice cold skins being produced, yes, that could actually work out quite nicely. That actually could, you know, greatly benefit. And again, a sheer lack of sales. I'm looking at that, and I'm just kind of assuming maybe I'll only do about 6,000 subscribers. You know what? That was fairly close. After almost a full week, when it's next Wednesday, when we're about to do the abnormal barders, I'm going to look at that again, and I'm going to see if people actually care about that. It doesn't glow in the dark, neither does that. So, you know, just want to point that out. But I must say, we are seeing quite a lot of auto turrets being accepted, and they're all doing quite all right. However, there's a Twitch drop looming over our heads, and we will get to that point. We are going to get that eventually, because, of course, you know, the Twitch drops and the charity, we will get up to 250,000. We've got like another month to go. We've got the time. It's all good. But then, I'm sure you're also fully well aware, Mr. FancyOrb, oh, look at that. He's just revealed he also has glow-in-the-dark auto turret, Twitch drop. Oh. Now, chances are maybe that's the reason why the ice cold auto turret isn't selling that much. Probably. But again, with the amount of acceptances and whatnot, I guess it's also a factor. What I'm trying to get across is, if that ice cold auto turret does not sell that much, but then we get more skins accepted after it, I'm just saying it's going to be a pretty interesting spot. And as we're slowly getting towards winter time, again, the seasons are different all across the world. But if we end up with a whole bunch of ice cold deplorables and whatnot, and it's close to December, I think that actually might work out. It might work out quite all right, you know. Just a hunch, you know. People wanting cold things when it's like Christmas time, which, you know, is usually associated with the cold and the snow and whatnot. All right, cool. You know, give me a chair, give me a table, give me a locker, yeah, give me a sheet matador. Like, there's a lot of potential there. It's up to the skin creator. Keep an eye on him on the workshop. So, with all due respect, yeah, interesting collections could follow some of these skins. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be perfectly fine, all right? So, got to wait it out. Keep an eye out on the workshop over the course of this weekend. Maybe you'll see a garage door. Maybe you'll also see a garage door, who knows? So as long as we see more, then we feel more confident. This is why I always sit here and say, never rush into trying to make an investment. Wait it out. Keep an eye on the sales. Keep an eye out in regards to any potential collection continuations. Do you get the idea? Cool. So, awesome. Now I'll talk about the armored doors. Now, as much as I'd like to talk about like the Gothic Veil collection, and yes, with that appearing, these both bounced up in price. Both of them were like barely evens. This appeared, that's up by, well, back up to about almost $4. This is back up to $3.50. They're doing better. This is still doing bad, unfortunately. Unfortunately. That's just garage doors in general. Anyway, you're also hardly selling anything. I'll also bring up the fact that we have an armoured double door in the workshop right over to here. Oh, look at that. It's looking ever so lovely. Oh, yes. I won't be surprised if we actually get that potentially. I'm just saying, with the success we've seen so far, that's looking pretty good. But the amount of armoured doors we've seen in such a short amount of time, uh-oh. So, yeah, we have seen quite a lot, and it's getting a bit concerning, and there will be more. We have 2 more rust doors for this month. And if this theme of 2 armoured doors per rust door is going to continue, oh, that's going to be, you know, it's going to start getting problematic. And you can start seeing this immediately already. So I am a bit concerned in regards to that. But if you were to care more about like the long term, all right, maybe there could be some nice things going on there. But as much as that's in a good position with a lack of sales and a potential sequel after it, there will be more options immediately next week and the week after that. And potentially even August Force White. Seeing far too many skins being accepted. And of course, the same would apply to Protector. Yes, I'm fully well aware all the doors are doing good, but they had transparency. This does not. There was a transparent version submitted, Face Punch avoided it. I'm sorry to say, that very likely will get lost in the shuffle and just go down in price. Both of them, very likely. Yeah. And then everything else, yeah. Sorry to say. I mean, at the very least with Apotheosis of War, you know, so as long as we see a sequel and blah, 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 you get the idea. But then again, that's still down in price. That did improve. That did improve. That kind of is stuck where it is. Same here. Like, we are still seeing skins being accepted. I'm all for it. I certainly would like to see the locker. But metal shop fronts, still kind of questioning what's going to go on with that. But then Hedge, look, both of these got completely bought out after they left the rust store. That did happen, yeah, but leave it a week. See how many listings appear after this. So, yeah. Hellcore head trap, I mean, we got a clothing and armor piece. Yay! Oh, no, say it. Didn't want to pick the tier 2. No, didn't want to pick the tier 2. No. Maybe the boots and gloves. I'd be happy if we got the boots and gloves. But yeah, they went and picked the head wrap. Only the poncho appreciated that. Ooh. Oh dear. Great. Lovely. So that's not exactly looking to be doing amazing. Listen, if we ended up getting Hellcore burlap or hide clothing actually being accepted, that would go up in value. But the most likely outcome is, based on what I see of all the head wraps we've seen so far this year, and even last year, that's not looking very pretty, is it? No, I am concerned. I am worried. To see it with so low sales, I'm not surprised. It's just not really... I don't want to sound mean, but I don't see the appeal of it. Sorry to say. So, okay. They didn't accept the transparent aim sight Valkyrie MP5. They accepted the regular one. That is the only skin this week that is not abnormal. If that's just going to end up like a standard MP5, I'm very sorry to say. But then, look at all the MP5s. The majority of them are down in price. Welcome to that Valkyrie MP5's future. Now, again, we might see even more Valkyrie skins being produced. But it looks as if it's not going to be a transparent aim sight pay-to-win collection now, considering this appeared. Now, I would like to see FAF commit to it, make more skins. Hopefully, we do see more acceptances. But if we don't see any more like transparent aim sight skins being accepted, yeah. Like this specifically, I don't think it's going to get anywhere. I think that's going to go down in price, 60 cent to 80 cent barter. And the sheet metal storage box, oh cool, you know, like another skin for this collection. Kind of needed like clothing and armor to be accepted, you know. It's too big in comparison to a work crate. If you're thinking, oh, it's like the work crate. No. It's not like the work crate. That was small and thin, and yeah, it could easily be hidden in rocks. That one's a little bit too big. It doesn't really compare. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much everything. I know that was kind of like reverse order. I mean, I didn't even talk about the bed. I mean, Yeah, it's a bed. And with all due respect, the black beds we saw previously, such as the Black Ops bed and the Pirate bed, you know what? I might chuck that in. With it being the last, with it being the last skin we talk about, I might chuck it in as a dark horse investment. You know, because I have noticed out of all the beds we've only had 2 other black beds, and they're both doing very, very good. But they also have very well established collections behind them. And I know you're going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, but training." True, but training mainly consists of like clothing and armor that's doing good. I know we have weapons, but they're not doing good. And we've only got 2 deplorables. But I will sit here and say, a lack of sales, a somewhat in-demand collection, it could be the dark horse investment. I'm going to keep an eye out for that, you know. Wait till next Wednesday, and then we'll do the abnormal barders, and then we'll question what we do next. I didn't intentionally want to leave that last, but that's kind of like appeared at the end. I mean, I didn't even talk about that, but the amount of electric furnaces and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm sorry to say, but I just wasn't feeling very invested with this week, and I'm pretty sure you can tell, you know. I've given you some quick explanations in regards to my worries, my concerns. Honestly, the only skin this week, I'll reiterate, the bear skin rug, it's the only thing I think that's going to actually work out quite all right. We need to see more things for all the other skins to actually potentially work out nicely. Right then, let's talk about some other things. So, as you can clearly see, we have another batch of Twitch drops on the horizon. And I've already made a very special showcase of the first revealed skin. So, just to point out, the FancyOrb Twitch drops will be available between July 30 to August 6. You only have 1 week. But if it's like all the previous FancyOrb Twitch drop skins, you just have to watch anyone streaming Rust on Twitch, and you get those skins for absolutely free. You can watch me. I'll be taking part in the Global Warfare event. So, yeah, you can see we got the auto turret right there. Boom. And yes, it does glow in the dark. It's a very lovely, impressive looking skin. I'm sure a lot of people greatly appreciate that for absolutely free. We've also got the, sorry, I've got to turn that off. Yeah, you got the ever so interesting looking pay to win glow in the dark vending machine. I'm just saying pay to win because it says it right there. But the locker. You need to see how interesting this locker is. Like, I had to sit here and just yap and showcase this immediately the second I saw it. Because as you might notice, that has transparency all on the bottom. And you're going to sit there and say, what's so special about that? I already own a bamboo locker and whatnot. You know, I use it for my boats. No. You're not going to use it for boats. You're going to use it for base defense and peaks. Consider watching this short video. I'll link it in the description of this video right now. Go watch this. 3 minutes of your time. You're going to be thoroughly impressed with what you can do with it. Chances are you already know how to utilize lockers as like special barricades that you can shoot under. Yes, shoot under. This is in a very good spot. Yes. So consider giving that a watch, and you will very likely want to race to get that locker as soon as possible. I will be doing a Twitch drop showcase, and it should be out either Monday or Tuesday. I just need to confirm with FancyOrb when he's going to actually reveal all of his skins, and then I can do the showcase. So, cool. Right then, so, yep, that's pretty much everything that needed to be addressed with this video. I should also point out, keep an eye on the commits. So over to here. We're getting closer and closer to August Force Wipe. What interesting things we're expecting? We've seen some interesting changes, such as, lunar masks are now going to be treated as wolf headdress skins. So, okay. I know they're technically not, but they technically are, because they have the exact same stats and whatnot, and it costs the same amount to make. So, it's cool. I could also point out changes like high walls and whatnot. But the main thing that you're probably going to care about is what's going to happen with the brand new DLC. Because we've basically got even more visuals now in regards to what it looks like. Thanks to Mr. Protox, which of course will link his tweet. And I'll point out he's already got like a video showcasing the extra changes. That looks like a pub. And I'm all for it, actually. So you got like an extra floor paper, an extra wallpaper with the wood paneling and whatnot. Like, that looks like a pub. And I will sit here and say, I want to see some taps with some ale. You got the rubbish looking bar stool, whatnot, you know, that's perfect. You know, it's all worn out and whatnot. Perfection. Now, all you need is a pub dog that just scrounges for crisps and whatnot. you had one, you know. So, yeah, honestly, yeah, I actually like it now. I still kind of feel like it's a bit lacking. Like, if this turned out to be like only $8, I think that'd be fine. I think that'd be fine. But I do need to see like a barrel, like a tap, beer pump, whatnot. Come on. So yeah, let's just give you the straight answer. We're about to get the Weatherspoons DLC pack. Does it come with terrible food as well? Ooh. Right, so other than that, is there anything else to address? Playcat's doing alright? Yeah, it's doing alright. It's fine. I mean, it's holding up. No complaints. Of course, I am keeping an eye on the Steam market. I'm keeping track of the prices. We have talked about that quite a lot recently in regards to our hopes and our expectations, but it honestly looks as if we're not going to see anything major happen until we actually roll into August time. And I did go on a bit of a 1 hour ramble going over everything. Fear not, I know it's an hour, but there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of chapters to skip ahead to. Like, what topic am I going to talk about next? The mummy wraps? I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 6? What? Why would that impact Rust? How? To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to impact Rust. Why? Well, it's right there, you know. So yeah, just observing the market and keeping track of everything. It's fine, it should be right. So yeah, only about 26 minutes long, but what else was there to say? It's a quiet week, and I honestly don't think there's that many people that care enough, you know, so where's all the clothing in the armour, you know, where's all the clothing in the armour? I have got no idea. I have no clue. Forest Raiders tactical gloves available? Nope. Tired tactical gloves? Nope. Redemption hoodie and pants? Nope. We've also got like, well, I mean, I did mention it, Hellcore Tier 2, Hellcore boots and gloves? Nope. Black Ops boots and gloves? Nope. So I have no idea what on earth is going on. I am speechless. So, yeah, there are a lot of potential collection continuations that could have been chosen, but they just weren't. So, you know what? The only way to make it up for us, Face Punch, is if you do a stacked clothing and armour Rust store next week. Yep, that's the only way we're going to be happy again. There you go. That's our only way to make us happy, you know. Now, I will sit here and say, did you happen to buy anything from last week's Rust store? We did the abnormal barders. I had quite a lot to yap about. And in the end, I bought 100 optimized revolvers. I'm going to sit in that probably until January 2027. I'll see if we get more optimized skins being accepted and whatnot. We'll see. But I feel like the only way I'm going to get like actual good profit is if I sit in it and wait until January 2027. Now, that's me. Maybe it might inflate and go crazy as we go through August time. All right, you know what? I would be tempted. But I feel like I've got to wait on that for a while. So it's already up to $4, but give it a week, more listings will appear. Keep an eye out. Did you also happen to buy any of the revolvers? Because, of course, I was yapping quite a lot about it. And, of course, I went ahead and bought 30 of these. I'm just far too curious to see what happens. But Hedge, what if they make a small box DLC? Nah, there's no mentions of that and whatnot. And at least, if I see anything mentioned on the commits, I'd sell them a lot faster. So, yeah, honestly, with the position that this is in, I certainly am hoping for some interesting collection continuations appearing this weekend. Oh, yes, indeed. But, Coca Ioka. We'll see. Just got to keep an eye out, all right? Just got to keep an eye out. So, all right, we'll see how it all goes. And again, if you don't understand abnormals, consider hopping over and watching the most recent Abnormal Barders video, which of course you can see over here. Just watch the first 5 minutes, skip ahead to the Barders chapter, which you can see over to here, and then listen in as we do the Abnormal Barder support. This is a very good way to break down and approach every single Rust store, and most of the time walk away actually getting some profit, all right? Being patient is rewarding. So, for your consideration. And one extra final thing as we wrap up the video properly, a common pattern we're seeing now with all the recent Rust stores is that all the skins, or rather the majority of skins that have been accepted in these recent Rust stores, are skins that are submitted not the most recent weekend, but the weekend before. So if you want to get a good idea of what potentially might be appearing in next week's Rust store, consider watching this Rust Workshop skin checks for July 14, 2026, because chances are the majority of skins that are going to be appearing in next week's Rust store are right here on display, all nice and chaptered. Yep, that's all the collection continuations. So, well, just got to wait and see. So, that's everything. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments, and just be a little bit more patient. Prices do look as if they're slowly starting to rise up in price. but we might maybe have to wait until at least another week, or maybe August 4 swipe. Price is soon going up. Soon we can sell and make some sweet, delicious profit. Catch you later. Goodbye.